Hello. Cathar Love 35. Be in this world, but not of it. A dear friend of mine, her guide is that great American Indian chief, Tecumseh. And she has these insights or small conversations from her guide. And we were talking, and she said, I don't quite understand it. And I said, well, it's pure Gnostic Catharism. Be in this world, but be not of it. So be in the world, to be part of the world, live life to the full, celebrate life. Do what you have to do, raise your family. Whatever hand life has dealt you, play it out to the full. But always you're conscious of the fact that this is this lifetime. This body, this lifetime is going to get age, as mine has, and eventually you'll die, you'll go to the world of spirit, but at some point you'll come back, you'll return to learn more lessons, to develop your personality, to develop your innermost character. This is everybody's lot. We're all an amazing person. Is a Greek philosopher around about pre-Socrates, so 550 years BC or whatever, and they used to call him, he used to speak in riddles, but in actual fact, from a Gnostic point of view, it's all perfect sense. But he says that those who are awake have one thing in common, whereas those who are still asleep each have their own little world. So this is a typical saying from Heraclitus. And from a Gnostic point of view, all is one, one is all. Everybody that's born is born into a family, a culture, a country. But this puts us to sleep. Now you can be, if you're a Christian family, this particular type of Christianity, this is your lot. This is what you'll be put into. Possibly many people in your town are the same, have the same belief. Obviously in the same country, the same culture. Politics are similar. Same for a Muslim, same for a Jew, or whatever. This is everybody's lot. You're going to be born into one of these groups, Buddhist, whatever. And for most people, this is where they stay. This is their world. Another thing that Heraclitus said that the only constant in life is change. He went on to say that only by changing do we discover our purpose in life. So, but most of us will stay within that particular sleeping group, that each individual sleeping group. And if you're a Christian and you think about a Muslim or an Arab or whatever, already you've got this certain vision in your mind. If you're a Muslim and you think of a Christian or a Jew or somebody, already you have an image in your mind. And to a degree, we're trapped within these images that we all give each other. I feel a joke coming on. There was this, to explain the situation and how ridiculous it is, there was this Arab gentleman, and he had an accident, lost a lot of blood, and it looked like he was going to die. But because they needed this transfusion, and there was only one type of blood that he could use, as it turned out, an Israeli gentleman, a Jewish gentleman, Israeli gentleman, had the same type of blood type. So, being the decent type of person, he had a blood transfusion, and this was given to the Arab gentleman and saved his life. As it turned out, the Arab was incredibly rich. And suddenly this Jewish had this Ferrari, beautiful Rolex watch, all these wonderful presents delivered to him with a thank you note saying, "Thank you for your blood, you saved my life." Oh, it's wonderful. Anyway, it turned out that the Arab gentleman required more blood, so the Israeli thought, "Oh, okay, I'm more than happy to donate once again," which he did. So he's waiting for all these wonderful presents to arrive, and here's this basket of fruit, lovely basket of fruit with a thank you note. Hang on. So he spoke to the Arab gentleman. He said, "Listen, what's going on?" He said, "The first time I gave blood and you know saved your life, you sent this Ferrari, this Rolex watch, all these wonderful presents." He said, "But this time," he said, "I donated blood again. This time you only sent me a basket of fruit." Now the gentleman said, "Oh," he said, "well, things are different now." He said, "You know, now I have Jewish blood in me." So it's a joke about our stereotypes, how we look at each other. But this is what happens. We're in a Christian world and we're supposed to act like a Christian. We're in a Muslim world, we're supposed to act like a Muslim or whatever. Now, if you're in a Gnostic world, you're supposed to, obviously, you act like a Gnostic. But from a Gnostic point of view, there is no disunity. There's no, not having any religion, there's no religion or philosophy to divide us. We might have a different opinion, but to the Gnostic, and not just Gnostics, other, if you want to call them New Age, philosophical, those with that particular philosophy in mind, New Age, yes, there's a oneness about everything. So this is not just Gnosticism, but this is a part of the Gnostic belief that the world, the animate, the inanimate, we're all interconnected. So to be a Gnostic, your philosophy, you have no choice but to be an environmentalist, because we are all interconnected. A talk by the scientist, and he said, when we breathe in and we breathe out, we're actually breathing out particles of ourselves, cells, actual parts of our cells come out when we breathe. Conversely, when we breathe in, we're breathing in other cells. But what we breathe in, they're cells that go back thousands of years. So, even though I'm here at this moment, and you're there at that moment, at the same time, we are actually breathing in and breathing out cells of Romans, of Greeks, of Chinese, we are literally one another. We are literally one. What we breathe in, those cells that were 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, they don't disappear. They're still here. And each breath that we take, we're taking cells from the past, and each breath we expel, we're expelling those of this present body, which will also last. So we are one another. What's another? He said, how can you hide from that which you cannot hide from? Now, I don't know exactly what he's thinking, but if we look at our consciousness, our consciousness from the point of creation, from the time we are created, it is now eternal. We can take drugs, we can take alcohol, we can do what we like, but we can't hide from ourselves. We can't hide from our own consciousness. We can't hide from our own basic personality. Again, he says something to the tune of, your character is your destiny. Meaning, again, you can't escape from your innermost. Now, we're happy, we're sad, we're this, we're that. That's not you, that's not me. That's me being sad or happy, that's you being jealous or whatever. But there's an innermost core. The Gnostics, the Cathars, call that our divine spark, which is beyond the soul. This is our unchanging individuality. This is our unique essence. This is the innermost core of our being. This never changes. Our body might be male, it might be female, it might be straight, it might be gay, it might be black, it might be white. Whatever. With different lifetimes. We'll experience wealth, we'll experience poverty. Some lifetimes will be a miserable one, very ill, but we're going to experience all lifetimes. But even so, our innermost core, our divine spark, also our soul, that continues on. This is our basic character. This continues right through. So, I like to think of Heraclitus as possibly the first Gnostic, because he was before Socrates, he was before Plato, but he had this thought. He thought about things, and he thought for himself. And so much of what he said, that 2,600 years ago, makes sense to modern day Cathars or modern day Gnostics. So I don't know who the first Gnostic was. No one probably will never know. But certainly Heraclitus, with his thought, his manner of living, his outlook, he was one person who was awake. He managed to escape. He said, as I said before, change gives us by changing we gain our purpose in life. So we're all born in this little world of Christianity, or I shouldn't say little world, we're talking about millions upon millions of people, but we're born within this world. We're born within Jewish or Muslim or whatever. This is for most people, and they will never change. And why should they? They possibly love their religion and their culture and all these various things, but there are people who are trying to raise themselves above this from the Gnostic point of view, by transcendence, by doing things that transcend the norm. And in doing that, by changing, we start to discover our real or our true purpose in life. So there's not that many. Gnosticism, Catharism is for the few. It's not for the multitude. On that note, I'll say goodbye for now.